Sean Patton here, Stronger Leaders, Stronger Profits. And this is Staying the Course, my 24-hour rule. You need to celebrate wins and mourn your losses, but don't let them stop you in your tracks. For example, you've just landed a major account for your business. Well, congratulations and celebrations are in order, but for how long? How are you going to do it? Okay, what about you just lost a major account for your business? Well, this sucks and it's a shock to you and your team after months of work. So now it's time for adult beverages, reflection, and maybe even some mourning. But for how long? What's appropriate here? Well, life's a roller coaster, and the ups and downs are even more intense the more intense your life is. For entrepreneurs, business leaders, and type A overachievers, the peaks and the valleys can really throw us off our game. But there is an even more insidious variation, the underreaction, which may seem almost natural to you at times, but it can absolutely kill your team. Before we get there, first let's talk about maximizing celebrations and grief. I've found a solid rule that I apply personally and professionally whenever I have a big win in my life. For the next 24 hours afterward, I shout it to the rooftops. I embrace the joy. For example, I'm an active athlete competing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's like submission grappling competitions. And I apply the same rule here. If I win a big tournament, I make sure my wife and I go grab a nice dinner, we go out in the town, go out with some friends, or maybe we just make sure we celebrate at home. But I'll post about it and reap the rewards of my victory for 24 hours. But once that time elapses, I ensure that I review my matches, I do a complete after-action report, identifying key takeaways, and then it's back to work. I apply the same strategy in my business as well. In fact, I apply the same protocol for losses in athletics, business, and personally. I let myself mourn the disappointment and really feel the loss. And despite much of the modern messaging today, we're not supposed to feel unbridled joy at all times, okay? This is real life. It's okay, and it's natural and healthy to feel sad, angry, and disappointed. But after 24 hours, write out your lessons learned, turn the page, and get back to work. So, in case you haven't picked up on this methodology yet, here it is in number form, right? Number 1, keep your strategic goals top of mind. This is your guiding light to keep short-term wins and losses in their proper perspective. 2, celebrate your win or mourn your loss to the max you feel comfortable with for 24 hours. 3, write down your lessons learned from the experience so you can learn from them as you move forward. And then 4, there it is, move forward as a wiser, more resilient, and more confident human being from the previous experience, positive or negative. Now, personally, I find it's easy to follow this strategy with my losses, but I'm not a good winner. And don't take me wrong, I don't mean that I rub it in people's faces and call them out, or I showboat to the world about my unrivaled greatness every time I make a sale. It's the fact that I often don't celebrate my wins enough. To me, I expect to do well, I expect to win. This is part of my mentality. So winning becomes the status quo, the expectation of myself and of my business. And I find this to be true with a lot of my clients, especially the high performers. And maybe you're okay with this mindset and this state of being. However, I will tell you, having been on both sides of this, that it is actually in the long term healthier, more motivating, and leads to a richer, fuller life if you actually let yourself celebrate your wins. But the problem I see is that with my own teams and my clients is that if we don't make it a natural practice to celebrate our own wins, we'll forget to publicly celebrate our team members' wins too. And this is definitely not a good thing. Your team works hard and they deserve to celebrate their individual and team wins publicly. This incentivizes them to work even harder for the next one and promotes a positive winning culture for the entire organization. Remember, a leader is not a position you hold. A leader is someone you are. So it must be genuine and authentic. So if you fail to celebrate your own wins, what's going to naturally happen is you're going to forget to celebrate others' wins as well. And that can happen in your relationships, with your children, with your teams, with your business. So apply the 24-hour rule in your life to maximize contentment, excitement, and performance. Then watch as your team and your entire business begins to follow your lead. Maximize the impact of life's and business's inevitable wins and losses with this 24-hour rule.